Hello, I'm Jo Good and welcome to the gold edition of the SheerLuxe show. We have a really fabulous show for you today, from new season picks at one of our favourite high street stores, to makeup tips and tricks for older skin from an industry legend. Plus, we are chatting about finding joy and our approach to fashion in our 50s and how much should we really care about the way we look. But first of all, let me introduce our guests today, starting off with television and radio presenter and author, the wonderful Gaby Roslin. Also, beauty journalist and presenter Nadine Baggott, and stylist and ageism fighter Jordan Trent. Welcome, ladies.
Thank you very much.
What a lineup, eh? So let's, first of all, I introduced you there, Gaby, as author as well. You are a friend of mine. I've never
it's
introduced
so weird.
you. Isn't it?
It really is weird, and you knew about this book. But when people say author, it throws me because I'm used to being introduced as TV, radio, podcast, all that. But suddenly author, I sort of think, are you talking to me?
It's impressive.
It's very impressive. And also, hold the book up, get full value.
Yes.
Get full value.
Spread the joy.
Spread the joy. And can I say, this is you, Gaby. I have worked with you for a number of years. I've watched you since The Big Breakfast with pure envy that you had the best job on telly. And you have spread joy for years, but this is you. You are a bouncy, joyous person.
Yeah, I just thought it's something that I always, I grew up like that, so I'm very lucky. I was 3 years old and I wanted to be on telly. That's all I ever wanted to do. And I used to think the reason was because television, I loved it and it made me happy. So I thought, if I do that, then it can make people happy. And so there was no swerving from that. And I used to pretend I was presenting Blue Peter. I used to sit next to the TV and my dad had a box on his head and he was the cameraman. And then my mum, because I found out about autocue, my mum started writing on loo rolls and pulling them down.
Gosh, you could teach me a thing or two.
So I always knew what I wanted to do. And then over the years, because I've suffered with extreme shyness, which I talk about in the book, and I found coping mechanisms and ways to make myself feel joy. And I've gone through awful things like everybody else. And I sort of feel that everyone says, oh, you've written about joy. Oh, everything's so wonderful in your life. No, like everybody else, I've had very tough times.
I know you have, yeah.
And I had mum and dad in two different hospitals with two different cancers at the same time and working and all of that. And then mum dying and dad getting the all clear on that day. And I still woke up the next day and I thought, wow, mum's not seeing the sunrise. So I always looked for that positive thing in life. So it was time to put it in a book. And lots of people asked me, so I did. And there's sort of tips and tricks and there's tiny tasks in the book. And the whole idea of the book is you can tear a page out if you want. You can write in it if you want. Or you can just give it to somebody else.
And I think it's interesting because it's the glass half full thing. You either see life as constant pressure all the time or you look for the joy in it because it is usually there. Nadine, would you agree? Do you find the joy easily?
I'm an optimist too. I'm a half glass full person. And I don't think you can work in television or journalism or any industry and not have to constantly fight deadlines and demands and not find joy in it. Otherwise, what's the point?
Yes.
For me,
So
and I'm very lucky to find the joy in little things.
Yes.
I don't look to big things for joy, so I find tiny moments of joy throughout my day.
You know, no two leaves are the same. It's in the book. So no two leaves are the same. So if you're walking, and I walk everywhere, I bore you with that all the time, but I walk everywhere. And there are moments where I'll have to stop. And then I look at a leaf, and then I look at another leaf and remember that each one is unique. And that's such a simple thing to remember. You just...
Well, I think we have to be retrained. Apart from finding absolute joy in your skirt, Jordan, and in your whole outfit, what about you? Do you find joy easily or do you have to hunt for it?
I think when I was younger, I probably struggled much more than I do now. I think it's probably one of the joys of getting older, actually, is for me, it's easier to find the joy. It's a bit like you said. I think you find it in the smaller things. Instead of looking at the bigger picture, you can break down into smaller chunks and just appreciate a moment for what it is. And I don't know if that's just life experience that gives you that, or, I mean, for me, obviously, being a stylist, I get a lot of joy from clothing. I like my clothing to be joyful. But just in day-to-day life, I think even just the title of your book, I think that made me smile. Just the title, I think that's a really, for me, that would make me want to read it. just because of the
Because
title
of the
alone.
word spread, so spread
Yeah,
it, because it is
exactly,
contagious.
yeah.
Joyous people make other people happy in their presence.
Absolutely.
But it's interesting what you were saying about is life experience, does it wear you down? Children are joyous. They start off usually joyous.
Well, that's interesting. In the book, I talk about, I can put it down now, I talk about that we, somewhere along the line, we lose the inner child. So when we're little, we use our imaginations. Everything is vivid and exciting and jumping in a puddle. And then something happens where you have to do adulting. And then you never seem to get it back. And I'm lucky that I still roll down hills. I still jump in the street and make people jump with me, strangers. But everybody's scared to do that.
Yeah.
People are really scared that they're going to be judged. Everyone's so judgmental these days. So the thing to remember about that is that you think they're judging you, but they're not, because they're far more concerned about themselves than they are about you.
I agree. And do you find, I get joy from friends, unlike you get, I don't have children, so my friends are very much my family, and they're joyous. I love them. They make me laugh. Nadine,
Well,
you are
she's
one
of your
them.
lovely
I know.
friends.
And we get hysterical. Are friends, girls, are friends important? Do you get joy from friends?
Essential, I think, for women to have friends. Yeah, I feel
What,
quite
female
sad.
friends,
Female
or-
friends. Yeah, I feel quite sad for men that a lot of men don't have that circle of friends who you can just rely upon. My friends are an instant source of support and joy for me. It's like unstopping happiness when I'm with my friends.
Do you tell? Because when I meet a woman that I really like, I do that, and I say, "Oh, I want to be your friend."
Yes.
My husband.
We're shameless, aren't
Can you
we?
imagine a man doing
My
that? They
husband has
wouldn't-
just met somebody, and he said he's such a nice guy. I said, "Well, why don't you text him and say let's go for a drink with him?"
Yes.
Yeah.
What?
You're so right. You hinted at that, Jordan. You said female friends.
Yeah.
And I must say, most of my friends are female friends or gay male friends. I don't have many straight male friends unless they're the partners of my female friends. Is that something you've noticed in your friendship groups as well?
What, that it's easier to have that
Joy
female
and a
connection?
friendship with women.
I think it's a weird one because I think women just innately just develop closer bonds anyway. I don't know if it's just that natural, intuitive, maternal, female bonding. I think it's in our DNA to strike up a strong friendship with a woman. I think with guys, I mean, if you're talking about with male relationships, they tend to be much more surface level, I think. I think it's much more for them to go deeper. With my female friends, I think I can know instinctively when I meet somebody if we're going to be besties. You can just tell. People, I mean, I really believe in auras and energies around people. And generally speaking, I think quite early on, I know the people that I can connect with on a deeper level and the people that I can enjoy, but we won't build a strong bond with one another. So, yeah, for me, it's a bit like, they say when you go house hunting, it's like the first 5 seconds or something,
Yes.
I find that, again, with women, I think we generally put our auras out there for people to either engage with or not. And I think it's quite intuitive with women. I'm not sure, I'm not a guy, so I don't know if they do the same thing. But I know with women, it's like that.
To go back to fashion, I mean, women, and I know you two well enough to know you would do this. If I saw you in the street and I've only just met you today, I would literally say, can I just say how much I love everything
Yes,
you're
I
wearing?
would.
How many men would ever do that to each other? I mean,
Yeah,
they may
I
want
know.
to. I doubt.
Well, unless they're in fashion, because being in fashion, you do find, particularly, I mean, I work a lot in central London, particularly when I'm doing street style, and I do get men that come up and go, love your outfit, or they'll walk past to make a complimentary remark about the look. But when I look at them, I can instantly also see that they're in fashion, because they're particularly stylized themselves. So there are guys that can do it and appreciate it, I guess, if they're working in a similar genre in that industry. But yeah, it's obviously much more the rarity. You get it with women a lot. I think it seems to be something now that's on the increase, I find. I don't know about with you, but I find much more women, because I know I do it in my day-to-day life, and I get it back in return. And again, I don't know if that's an energy thing, but when I'm walking around, if I see a woman who's got a great lippy or a nice pair of shoes, I'm always going, love that. Yes. And they're like, and I get that back, and I find that more so now, like, say even post the whole lockdown situation, I didn't find that so prevalent. I think maybe now people are spreading the joy
Well, I
more.
think people do talk
because
to
there's
people.
more need for it.
And Nadine, for you, we all love the jobs we're in, and I get joy from doing what I'm doing. I'm sure all of us do. And for you, very much so, because you can literally transform the way somebody looks.
There's nothing nicer than having somebody slide into my DMs or give me feedback after doing this morning and saying, you were so right, that product's amazing, or that product has helped my hair or helped my nails or helped my skin or cleared up my child's acne or something like that. It's incredibly empowering. But I agree with Jordan completely. I love nothing more than walking down the street and passing a compliment on. And just knowing that for a second you've made somebody happy. You've spread joy just by saying, I have to tell you, your hair's amazing. I have to tell you, your skin's incredible. Or, oh, you're so amazing at what you do for a living. I totally agree with the positivity of passing forward. I really do.
And Gaby, it's something Jordan said there is like post-pandemic. Would you have written this book pre-pandemic? Was it in you? Or do you think we all need to rediscover joys?
I think more so. I did come up with the idea in the pandemic, and I was finding any way I could to carry on spreading the joy. And I realised that's when the book did come to me. And because I did a Radio 2 show called Songs That Bring You Joy, and I just thought, this all, there's those layers that suddenly were going together. But I was smiling because when you walked in, the first thing that any of us said, it's as if we ignored you.
Hi.
We went, oh, yes, your skirt.
You said people always notice the skirt before they notice
magnet,
me.
I know.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, Spread the Joy with Gaby Roslin is out now. Thank you so much, and I feel far more uplifted. Well, now for some more joy, because we're going to take a look at Jordan's picks from a very stylish autumn-winter collection.
Hi, I'm Jordan, the elegant stylist, and I want to take you through a few of my favourites from Boden's autumn-winter collection. So let's dive in. This is a gorgeous navy velvet blazer. Who wouldn't love cosy, warm velvet? Because the chill is already here, and they have velvet trousers to go with it. I mean, this is a perfect suit that you can layer with absolutely anything. It's an absolute must for me. And who doesn't need knitwear for autumn winter? They do this in a selection of different colours. So if you prefer this in a neutral, they have a whole range of colours to choose from. Love this. I'm a big fan of a polo neck too. The other thing I am loving is a wide leg, always super comfortable. And these are corduroy, really nice with this front pocket detail, going to be super comfy. And you could team it with this gorgeous shade, again in corduroy for a nice warm, cozy look. And you could use this as a layering piece as well. Just pop a t-shirt or a vest underneath. The other great thing about this collection from Boden is that they have got your staples. So you won't be looking far for a nice modern oversized white shirt. Really good to mix and match. And a softer version with this lovely frill detail and on the front panel. So these would be great paired with Boden's denim selection this season. And they have some gorgeous dark denim. Let me show you. Just pop this one back in here. And this is their dark denim in the flared leg. Just up with that nice soft blouse. I'm jumping ahead here, but let me show you the other dark denim as well. So they have the flare, which I've just showed you, and they have this gorgeous wide leg, again in a dark denim. And for reference, I'm 5'6", I'm wearing about a 3-inch heel at the moment, but I think these could work really, really well with those white shirts, navy blazer. In fact, anything. I mean, a good classic structured denim is perfect for anybody's wardrobe, right? Another great addition to your wardrobe would be this gorgeous pussy bow blouse. So obviously you could make a real feature of this, have it tied at the neck. And I just think this rich color is going to really elevate your wardrobe. It's something that I think I would really like to have in mind. I would team it with tan. Navy and brown, navy and tan is such a vibe. This with any kind of brown corduroy or tan colors is going to look absolutely gorgeous. French style jackets are everywhere this season, and Boden have done a classic version of it. This, I mean, with the gold detailing buttons on the pockets as well, this nice square classic French chic shape. I think it's going to suit a lot of people. This is a classic that will work in your wardrobe for years to come. Now, if you're wondering if what I'm wearing is from Boden, yes, it is. And you can have this not only in this gorgeous forest green, but also in the navy corduroy. See that here? So, either of these would be great worn on their own, or as I have done, layered up here with one of Boden's printed shirts. I actually really love it this way. And, of course, it has pockets. as always in the autumn winter season, there is the classic grey. Now we all like a bit of classic smoky grey, and Boden have a really good classic for you in this single-breasted blazer. I'm loving this flat pocket detail. Does have a back vent as well, which makes it even more flattering. The other thing I like about this is that there is a lot of oversized out there at the moment. So this is a nice, more tailored, more fitted style. I'm also really liking this very distinct lapel on this. I think it makes it very, very chic. I need to double back onto this rail to show you a gorgeous piece of knitwear, which is this throw-over piece, open side panels with the gorgeous tie detail. This is going to be great on those chilly mornings when you need that extra layer. And for those of us who want to stay a little bit cooler and keep our arms free, I think this is a perfect solution. Boden also have in their collection this other gorgeous piece of knitwear in this lovely neutral oatmeal shade. A nice long button down will cover up everything as well as keep you nice and cozy and warm. And the final two pieces that we have to show you today are in this golden olive color, which I absolutely adore. We have a printed waistcoat. I'm loving that for a little bit of print to jazz up your wardrobe, and of course a classic midi skirt, which is coming about there on me in this gorgeous rich burnt gold. This skirt is an obvious choice for party season, but if you want to wear it during the day, it's going to be lovely with other rich, warm caramel tones. You can pop some tights underneath, a pair of knee-high boots, and you're good to go. And before I go, I can't leave without showing you a couple of their accessories, which is the gorgeous bag collection. They have this lovely printed tote. I really like this, a really good size, and I do like an extra bit of print if you're wearing neutrals. And last, but definitely not least, is actually one of my favorite bags. This is a printed crossbody bag with this gorgeous bronze burnt orange strap. Let's just try this one on. Now, if you have a lot of neutrals in your wardrobe, this is a must-have. I'm absolutely loving the way that this catches the light. It's the perfect size. I am hoping they are going to let me take this home with me. And that's it. So I hope you've enjoyed it. All of the products will be linked below, and I'll see you next time.
Oh, that was absolutely fab. They've got such good pieces this season. So Jordan, what was your favourite?
Well, obviously what I was wearing, the green cord button down with the belt, which was detachable. So I would mix and match that with other belts if I wanted to mix it up. But I particularly liked the fact that I could pop the shirt underneath with that nice print, because sometimes that kind of is quite a strong jewel tone colour. And some people don't really want that up against their face, because it can really sort of just make your face look a little bit flatter when you've got that dark light underneath. So if you lift it with a printed blouse, I think it works really well.
And also the Breton stripe never goes out, does it? I mean, they've got
Breton stripes are always good.
Yeah,
I mean, they never go out of fashion. But yeah, I really liked what I was wearing, and that's why I wore it.
Yeah, you look fantastic in it.
And it had pockets.
And it,
Pockets and a belt. You see
pockets and a belt.
Yeah, it's all
I
good,
mean,
isn't it?
as a dog
scared of
owner,
belts.
every outfit should have pockets, and most of my dresses have got dog treats in still. I kid you not.
In that one?
No, not in this
No,
one.
no,
unfortunately.
okay.
But Gabby, I know, I work with you, I know how important fashion is for you.
I love it.
And you, like me, you love colour,
I
don't you?
love, love, love colour. But I do shopping in your wardrobe, because I do worry about fast fashion and the amount of stuff that people feel they need to buy. You know, they look on Instagram and they go, tap to buy. No, please don't, because people, you know, we're in a cost of living crisis, and what's happening in the world is terrifying. So try and save your pennies a bit. Just go and get those items that you want. I dress in the high street all the time. This is high street, you know, this isn't, but the rest is high street, and they're very old things. But mix and match the old things that you've got. Just take a chance. People are scared to wear clashing patterns and clashing colours. They're really
Tell me the
scared.
word you were talking whilst we were
Pat
watching
clash.
that. Pat clash. So it's
Yeah, pattern clash, because people are scared. They think, oh no, I can't wear dots. I can't wear stripes with a pattern. You can. I mean, you know better than I do, but you can. Just
or
mix
putting
them
a
up.
denim shirt with a
Perfect.
really fancy skirt is like, I would never think to do that, but I will be doing that next time you
God,
see
I'm
me on
glad to
here.
hear
I will
it.
be in my
But
equivalent.
women have such fear. Again, I'm going back to what I said before about being judged.
Yeah.
They think, oh no. And people are scared to wear colour. And you were just talking about up to your face. And I wear bright, bright colours, all the TV shows I do.
Yeah.
And colour is So important.
So let's bring in
Yes.
them. Let's bring in now.
She
Nadine
only
Baggott.
wears black.
But you see, this is. I'm not just soft soaping you. I've always said to you, I love the fact you only wear black. Mary Helvin, who was
didn't know that.
David Bailey's wife, only ever wore black. She said it was the simplest way of dressing.
I mean, I came of age on magazines, and this is the way the fashion editors and beauty editors and features editors all dressed. So for me, I shop in my wardrobe, and
Which she said when I
Gabby
turned
came through
up.
the door and she went, and I said, "You look fabulous." I said, "I've shopped in my wardrobe." One of the advantages of getting older is if you shop a certain way and you discover your style, then I can go back and re-wear clothes from 20 and 30 years ago. In fact, I'm a nightmare whenever I put a picture on Instagram and my followers will say, "Where's that from?" And I'll go, "Oh, I'm really sorry, that's a 10-year-old," because I wear the same clothes time and time again. I found my style when I was very young. I'm very comfortable. I'm also 6'3" in shoes. And so I cannot imagine wearing really bright, colourful clothes because I feel like I would be a walking...
That's me, because
That-
I'm 6'1" in my
so
heels.
tall. And so for
lucky.
me, it's a uniform, and my approach to fashion is the same approach to beauty, which is minimum effort, maximum results. I can go into my wardrobe, I can capsule wardrobe, pack something, and it will always match.
Do
and
you
go
have
together.
something hidden away in colour? Is there? If I saw you
Yeah,
out,
I've seen you in colour.
No,
I've never seen you in colour.
I've got dresses that from about 15 or 16 years ago. When I go on holiday, I have quite an all-white wardrobe,
Oh,
and
you
I have
say white.
splashes of colour. So I've got some vintage Pucci, I've got some vintage Matthew Williamson that I absolutely love. Yeah,
I'd love to see you in
Yeah.
Pucci. Oh,
you should
gosh.
come over to my house and just see my wardrobe, because basically,
I'll
'cause
be in your wardrobe,
Like
is
you,
it?
I don't have children, so I just converted the smallest bedroom into a walk-in wardrobe. So I never have to shop again. I literally can just walk in and
Nadine
grab
and I
things.
said to Gabby, because Gabby said, you wear a lot of clothes. I said, I spend my money on clothes because I don't have children. These are my children. Your clothes are your children.
Well, also, I just think you and I were always saying about doing an Instagram series together because we're like little and large. We're yin and yang.
Yeah,
It's one of the reasons
I could
we're such
literally
good
walk
friends.
through her legs.
Yeah,
So short.
I know.
Can I just ask, I mean, Jordan, you were saying, look, I mean, I bet you wear that out, don't you? This isn't for best. This is an outfit.
No, this is just
So don't save for best, which we tend to do, don't we?
I don't know. I think I'm so glad that everybody's pushing that now as well. Though, but it is a generational thing. I think most of our parents. I know my mum was exactly the same. She had a whole suitcase full of stuff that she was saving. I was like, saving for what? So, I mean, my whole approach is about fearless fashion anyway. So the idea, I mean, particularly with my Instagram page, most of my DMs are full of people saying, "I'd love to wear that, but," and I spend most of my time. It's a bit like shopping therapy, because I'm trying to explain to people that you can wear it. It's just you just have to. It's a mindset that people have to overcome, because most of the people who follow me are 40 plus. And they have been raised by their mothers who were saving their things for best. And we spend a lot of time having these conversations about, oh yeah, my mum had this thing and she never wore it. And I'm like, yeah, but and do you want to do that? Like, do you want that to be you? So yeah, I'm always promoting that idea of just wear your best stuff. You know, I know for a lot of people this might be, I know when I wear this, a lot of people do say, like, you know, in your own hometown, like where I live, the dry cleaner or the person in the corner shop, they'll be like, oh, you look nice to wear. Where are you going? I'm not going anywhere. I'm just living my best life.
Good for you.
And I'm trying to get people out this idea. You don't need to be dressed up, you know, just to go somewhere. Just get dressed up because it makes you feel good, because you're living your best life.
Goes back to what you were saying, Gabby.
And because also, sorry to
dressing-
interject, but just because also, just to be back to the title of your book, which really has resonated with me, just to spread that joy, because I know when I dress like this, and you know how we were saying earlier about other women coming up and saying, oh, you look great. I know that if I'm dressing in a way that makes me feel good, that I'm generating that feeling to other people, and that's why other people come up, they go, oh, you look great. And they feel good looking at you. They're getting, you're sharing that joy.
Yeah,
so
I
it's a
agree.
win-win.
And I can we all be honest then? We're all here in heels, right? How many people were crouched in a doorway just before you came here changing your trainers into your heels? Or did you actually come on public transport?
My
in these-
heels aren't really, I've only got the tiny
These aren't-
heels.
Those are
Super high.
almost flats compared to
Yeah,
what I
I
usually
have-
wear.
mine are
But
tiny.
will you see? I trot everywhere in heels because I am so short. I just run around in heels, hence the state of my feet. But would you wear heels throughout throughout the day, any day?
I
Not anymore.
No, I've got a pair of Adidas Originals.
I know, I'm
that
so
I will
impressed
wear,
you've done
and I
that
will
for
run
us.
everywhere. But the minute I get in a doorway, I'm that classic
Yeah,
New York person. Yeah.
I even do TV now in trainers, which I would never have done years ago. So Morning Live, I wear trainers, and it's funny how I had to shift because I walk up to 10 miles a day. My Soul Bliss trainers, oh my goodness, because they're all squidgy, and I walk everywhere in them. But wearing them on TV was a weird mind shift because I'd never done that before.
It is weird where we work at the BBC. You often see the newsreader looking immaculate to hear, and underneath are the trainers in a pair of jeans. I mean, it's,
Or shorts sometimes.
Or shorts.
Oh, I quite often wear flat shoes on TV,
Yeah,
but
you do.
only because the people I co-present with are tiny, and otherwise the camera pans across and it has to go up to reach
How
me and
tall
come
are you
back
without
down
heels?
again. 5'10" and a half.
So lucky.
So I'm really
Do you know
tall.
what I would love if someone introduced, you know, those movable urinals for men? If they
What
had,
are you going to say?
if they had little cubicles dotted around where we could change our shoes
Yes.
instead of in doorways. You
I didn't know
which-
where you were going with that. I was quite concerned. Movable urinals on television for women. What? Okay.
So that's fashion. Next, we talk about beauty. I sat down with the wonderful Nadine Baggott before the show to chat through her hero beauty products and tips and tricks for applying makeup to more mature skin. Let's have a look. Do you know, I feel like I've arrived in paradise because not only do I have Nadine Baggott sitting here, but I have all of these goodies that she's recommended. Now, I use the word mature skin. You hate that, don't
Yeah,
you?
I hate the word mature, and I just said just use the word older because that's what we are. We're older. Mature is a cheese, right?
Yes, actually, yes. Gorgonzola.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't want to look like a gorgonzola. But we change things up. So we can bang on about how, you know, age is just a number. Well, it isn't really, is
No,
it? Because
it's
our
not.
skin changes and our cosmetics and certainly our makeup changes.
I think the important thing to remember as you get older is that less is more. And I think there are certain textures that you need as you get older that are just more forgiving to an older skin. So don't go after the Instagram Kardashian look, which looks beautiful on a young, perfect face. You need a sort of skincare makeup hybrid. So what I've chosen is my favourite skincare makeup hybrids, and then some classics that I just think are timeless and you can wear year after year after year.
And these are luxury and street.
Yeah.
So they are affordable and higher end.
A mix of both. I've chosen the best in category, I think, at most price points.
So can we start with the BB creams?
Yeah.
Because just explain what BB creams are. Not patronising, but I never really know.
Well, so BB was a concept that came out of Japan and Korea, and it either meant blemish balm or beauty balm, but essentially what they are is they're Korean or Japanese tinted moisturisers. That's what they are, really. And most days when people say to me, you've got great skin, I say, I don't, I have a great foundation. And my foundation is this, which is the Arboreum BB cream. Now, they do a CC, and the CC is clear and then goes on and the pigment breaks. So it's a little bit like Trini's BFF. So they're the CC one, so they go on clear. And this has slightly more coverage. If I just show you on the back of my hand, by the way, look. Been testing Victoria Beckham eyeliners. This is a beauty editor.
This is a beauty editor.
By the way.
Always
not dirt,
bits.
I promise. So if I just show you here, and this is obviously not my shade, what you've got is there you go, look at
gosh,
that.
yes.
So what you've got is loaded with hyaluronic acid, which is a skincare ingredient, and humectants, and then it goes on and it just gives you a soft focus finish, and you can sheer it out. And the older you get, what you're looking for is you're looking for makeup skincare hybrids, and that, to me, is the best on the market.
I love that. So it's makeup with really good skincare. And would this last all day? Because it's got all the skincare in it.
What I would do, now, a lot of people get older and they worry about powder and they think powder's going to set into their lines. Now, I was chatting to Gaby backstage and I was saying I introduced her to Makeup Forever HD. Well, that's quite hard to get hold of in the UK. I think you can get it in Sephora. But this is Beauty Pie One Powder Wonder. Now, I'm embarrassed to open this up because this was not a prop that was bought for the set. This is my actual powder.
This is loved.
This is embarrassing.
This is
Look,
really
this is much loved. And what that is uber lucent. And when I say uber lucent...
But it's white.
Yes. So it looks like it's going to go on white. You look like you're going to look like Marcel Marceau when you apply it, but then it goes on, and what it does is it is completely translucent, but with a slight light reflective finish. And this I can then apply under my eyes. Doesn't sit in my lines, and I have very crepey under eyes, round my nose, down onto my chin, just up like that. And that just sets everything in place. So the place to mattify becomes smaller as you get older. So what you want to do is you want to do that centre panel there, down and around the nose, just where you're a little bit oilier, on the chin. But actually what you need to do is set under the eye. You need to set your concealer under your eye. And again, I'm embarrassed to admit it, this is just a kabuki brush. I think it's been discontinued. Honestly, once I fall in love with something, I use it forever. It was an old Elizabeth Arden one. But get an angled kabuki brush.
Oh
That's
gosh,
what
that's
you
such
need.
a good tip. And I love the way you say as you get older, you mattify smaller areas.
Yes, you
not the
don't
whole
need to
face.
mattify your whole face, but I'm going to give you a little hint and a tip on where to put your highlight. So let's go on straight to
Yes,
that. Okay,
please.
so a lot of people like a glittery, shimmery highlighter, and they like it, especially when you're young and it looks beautiful and you can put it down your nose and on your cheek and all that sort of stuff. It looks amazing. But it tends to sit in fine lines, especially if you've got smile lines. So if you look at your smile line here, there's a fine line between the under eye concealer area and the line here, and this is where you're putting your highlighter. And look, my lines go right the way down there. So what you need is a skincare hybrid. And this is brand new. This is from Tatcha. This is a serum stick, and it is a solid serum. So when I put it on like that, it's basically hyaluronic acid in a solid form. But you see what it does? If you
Shimmers.
feel that, it doesn't.
Oh my
even,
gosh.
It doesn't
Can I
really,
just smell it? I'm
it
dying to
doesn't
smell.
even really shimmer.
And no scent at all. No, it doesn't at all.
It doesn't shimmer. What it does is it adds a dew to the skin.
So you haven't got
And
that
so-
frosty. I
so you
hate that
haven't got
frosty
the frosty.
look.
It doesn't sit in your lines, and the place to put it is across the top of your cheekbone there. And what you'll end up with is you'll end up with a dewy finish because it's skincare in a stick.
And the light
so
just
clever.
bounces.
Goes on your lips, over the top, and then the light will bounce back. But at the same time, the hyaluronic acid will go into the skin and it will plump the fine lines.
See, this
so
is-
don't go highlight, go for solid skincare, and you want a dewy stick. And I have to say, if you can't afford Tatcha, Ciate do something called dewy stick as well at a reasonable
May I
price.
just ask, is Tatcha Korean? Is it Japanese? Do you know?
It's American-Japanese.
American.
She's inspired by Japan.
And so everything that you've shown us so far is skincare in makeup.
Yes.
So it's working, it's helping our skin as we're wearing it, which is wonderful.
But also, more importantly, it's about the transparency, it's about the translucentness. You basically want your skin on its best day, but you don't want to look like you're made up because it's going to sink into your lines.
Right, just going back to the BB, is there
Yeah.
SPF in it?
There's an SPF 30 in that as well.
Fantastic.
It's not enough on its own, but it's a good top-up. One of the best tips I can give about buying beauty is to go away and Google big beauty companies. So L'Oreal own Giorgio Armani, they own Lancôme, they own L'Oreal Paris, they own Maybelline, they own Garnier. They share technology.
So
And
their
I have to
research-
say Lancôme have the best concealers. And this is the high street equivalent. And this is Maybelline Eraser. You twist it up. Now, and then basically you dab it in. Now that's obviously not my shade, but you were saying to me earlier on, how do you choose the shade of concealer?
Should a concealer always be lighter than your tinted moisturiser or foundation, whatever you're wearing?
It
all the
should
same?
be slightly lighter under your eyes because you want to cancel out the dark circle. And it should always be slightly yellow toned under the eye as well, because the yellow counteracts the purple, and the purple is essentially the hemoglobin, which is the blood here that's under your eyes. Around your nose and on spots, it should be exactly the same colour as your skin. So you should always have two colours of concealer.
Who has two concealers? We must all do that from now on. I've always used one lighter,
Well,
one
because
dark.
look, ready? If I'm covering under my eyes, this is too light, right? Okay, so if I'm covering under my eyes,
Yeah.
I can blend that in, right? But if I've got a spot,
You're just going to highlight the spot. No, you're...
Mount Vesuvius.
Do rub that in, Nadine.
Yeah.
We don't want you going home
I'll
like
wipe it
that.
off, don't worry.
So, can we move on now? I'm
Yes.
I'm salivating over
These merit blushes.
Well, they're like art. They're
So
works of
I
art.
recently did a piece for the Times choosing my 36 all-time favourite beauty buys, and very few of them were new buys, but I absolutely love Merit Beauty. Now, Merit Beauty is a minimum effort, maximum results beauty company, and essentially what these are, and the reason that they're idiot-proof is because you literally dab them on your cheek and you blend them in.
love that.
And again, let me go back in and show you the texture. So they are essentially a cream blusher, but they're not overly pigmented. So many of the ones for young people are really heavily pigmented. They just blend away to perfection. Look at that, so it goes on sheer.
Oh my
and
gosh,
they're
sorry,
all neutral shades as well.
They are so
there
soft.
are no fashion shades, because with a blush, essentially what you want to do is you want to choose the colour that you go when you blush.
There we go. And also, please tell me where to put it. On the cheekbone, under the cheekbone, from the hairline?
It's really hard when you're older, because when you're younger, you have a choice. You can either put it on the apples of your cheeks or you put it up and out. But again, we're back to the fine lines here. Your lines go down and they tend to go down into here. So I would say just the top of your cheekbones there, super subtly, and you pat out and up, out and up. So it's almost like a sort of Nike tick that goes up.
That's the thing. I think as you get older, so many people, myself included, we end up looking like Aunt Sally.
Yes, because you see tutorials on Instagram on young people and they go, smile here.
On young people you can.
Yeah, but you can't when
on the
you're older.
elderly, no.
You can't.
You really can't. Okay, moving on to mascara. I know that we're going to talk about mascara a little bit later on because Gaby was asking about mascara, so you're going to go into more depth. But I'm so interested because you bought a brown one.
No, this is a brow mascara.
Yeah.
So a brow mascara is important.
Brow.
Yes.
Oh.
One
So
of
I
the
thought it
things
was
that
a
will
brow
happen as
mascara.
you get older is your face will lose definition. Your lashes will start to lose their colour and your eyebrows will start to lose their colour. And I think it's really important to put definition back in. And so the reason I've chosen the most idiot-proof product, I love Charlotte Tilbury Legendary Lashes, but if you're on a budget, this is Max Factor Brow Revival. That is the colour you need, or you choose there, I think it comes in about 4 shades, that's my colour. And essentially what you do is you just brush it through your brows, and within seconds it creates a defined brow that sets slightly, so you brush up and out to give yourself a instant facelift. Don't forget to put definition back into your eyes, which is why mascara and brow mascaras are so important.
And that again, as you get older, my brows, along with our own hair, gets thinner and your brows get thinner.
And it loses the colour as well.
Absolutely.
And that will cover greys or whites or fine hairs. If you overplucked your eyebrows in the 70s or 80s or 90s or whatever it was, that would pick up the tiniest hair and just give just the right amount of definition.
So you think that rather than a pencil?
I don't have the skills to do individual. When you watch these tutorials and you see people paint on individual brows, I'm so impressed. I can't do that.
I don't think you've brought it here, but I've always, ever since we did the Alan Titchmarsh show together, everybody on ITV, I used to love your eyeliner.
Oh, yes.
But I don't think you've brought it.
No, I tell you what I've got. I've got my ultimate eyeshadow palette. So people say they're frightened of eyeshadow. And so this is my ultimate eyeshadow palette. And I'm going to say, go MAC or go Bobbi Brown for an eyeshadow palette. So this is the colour that I put in the crease of the eye, which just knocks back the hood. And you go back and forth a la Charlotte Tilbury in a windscreen wiper motion. And it just gives the impression of a darker, deeper set eye. And then that is the eyeliner.
That's your eyeliner?
Yeah, so what you do is you put a brown pencil in the base of the lashes and then you sweep that over the top and it sets it, which means it doesn't transfer onto your hoods because that tends to happen as you get older.
Oh, gosh, I need this. So this is a Bobbi Brown palette.
Do you get the feeling that she's just going to be putting all these products into her bag as she
sneakily
leaves?
putting this away. No, but because I've always loved how you do that. And what eyeliner would you use? Would you use Bobbi Brown? Would you use any?
I'm not particularly loyal to any pencil. I mean, Victoria Beckham has the most amazing colours, but they can be quite hard to sharpen. I would go MAC or Bobbi Brown. Swede do some beautiful ones. Don't spend a lot of money on an eyeliner. It just needs to be soft enough to go in the base of the lashes back and forth. Again, it's almost not about creating an eyeliner. It's about creating depth and definition to your lashes.
Just finally, when Nadine arrived, she went, I love your lipstick. It's one you actually gave me. And I can't remember what it is. I said to you, I love orangey rather than pinky because I've got brown eyes. What have you brought in?
So I've brought an idiot-proof lipstick. So I've got a Lisa Eldridge lipstick on, but I like a balmy lipstick. And the reason I'm saying that is because lips tend to get drier and slightly more lined as they get older. So go for something which has a combination of colour and skincare properties. And this is essentially a tinted balm, which means, if you can see there, it's very low maintenance. It's essentially got all of the skincare properties, a bit of colour, you apply it, you don't have to think about it, you don't have to worry about it feathering. It's just skincare makeup hybrid, and this is the NARS Afterglow Lip Balm. It comes in about 10 shades now, and it's amazing.
Do you know what I've noticed? Everything that you've brought today for older skin is skincare in makeup.
Yes.
And I think that is so important.
And they're all sheer, transparent, easy to use. I'm a bit of a doofus, minimum effort, maximum results. 5 minutes, you're out the house, you've got better things to do with your life.
Fantastic. Thank you. So let's see what the girls think. That was brilliant, Nadine. It's amazing the difference that a good product can actually make. And I'm living evidence of that and knowing how to apply it. So, do you guys have any special beauty tips that you would live by every single day? Gaby, kicking off with you.
Well, two things, and it's in the book, but it's about smiling. So the very first thing I do in the morning is smile when I'm lying in bed, that moment just before I wake up, and it clicks your brain into feeling better, feeling that the day is going to be okay. And then I walk into the bathroom like everybody does, and I look in the mirror and I think, oh, my root. No, stop doing that. Smile at yourself in the mirror, because that's really important. And my must-have, I've got a must-have moisturiser and a must-have thing makeup. Can I tell you both?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Nadine will give you a whole breakdown.
All Skin Med is the most incredible products that I've ever tried. So I had a facial, and then I love the product so much I now go and buy the products. And my ride or die cannot live without is mascara. I gave birth both times with mascara on.
That's
And
my girl.
what's your mascara?
Well, it's the Maybelline High Street, the big fat curly one. That
High Street mascaras are the best.
They really are.
Yeah.
You told me that years ago. You also told me about Makeup Forever powder.
HD powder.
So Nadine does a phone in on my radio show, and the phones go
I
absolutely
know.
crazy.
I work at the same place. I do, and I listen to your show.
Because this is one of the assets about growing old, forgive me, is the information you've got in your head.
Like a Rolodex.
Because I often say to you, look, are they reinventing the wheel? Is there anything coming out that is still exciting? Is there anything that we still need? And you say, yes, there are things that even blow your mind.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh,
True.
what blows your mind?
Yeah, what's come out?
Look at us. What? We want to try it.
Well, no, I just think it's really interesting because I do think there's been a revolution in beauty, as there has been in fashion, in the sense that 5 or 6 years ago you couldn't really shop that cleverly on the high street, and now I think high street makeup and high street skincare is better than it's ever been. So there's no excuse for spending lots of money, I think, on products now.
Jordan, your
What's your
must-haves?
must-have?
Well, I use the same mascara as Gaby, definitely. I'm addicted to it. So that's 2 votes for that one at least. My must-haves, I don't know. I mean, I need to sit down with Nadine and pick her brains because I'm not a makeup expert. I just
Your skin.
Your skin. You
I just pick up whatever.
We've all fallen in love with you, Jordan. Your skin, your skirt.
Skin.
No, I said straight away to Jordan, I said, I'm not a fashion person, but can I just say, oh my God, your haircut, because I just love that pixie cut. And your
God, I
skin
need to
is
come here
phenomenal.
every
Do you
week.
drink a lot of water? Do you drink gallons of water?
I'm not a big water fan. I like a hot glass of water, warm glass of water with lemon in the morning. Can't start my day without that. That for me is like a religious thing, as is the mascara. But anything else, like I could really use your help with like foundations and stuff. I just
What you
try
have
and
on at the
find one
moment is
that might
beautiful.
work. But I tell you what I do like, what I'm currently addicted to is, don't ask me the brand because I just can't remember, but I found this gold, it's Sleek Cosmetics. Gold highlighter palette, and I put a little bit of gold highlighter here, maybe just sometimes with my, you look
suits
a
your
bit,
colouring,
you need your
really
face
suits
you.
looks like it needs a
alive.
lift.
Yeah, absolutely.
Particularly when I'm shooting and stuff, and I think I need to look a bit more alive. And this gold highlight, I put it on, okay, now I look fabulous. And I just go out the door.
But that's so nice. It makes you feel like
Yeah,
that.
that's exactly the feeling it gives me. Because whenever I feel like you put your makeup on, I think it doesn't look. I don't look. You know, when you have a bad hair day, I have a bad makeup face day. I think, where's that gold highlighter? That's like my
May I
go-to.
just ask?
I think makeup
that.
should spark joy.
I
Goes
love
back to
it.
joy.
I love
It
it.
really
May I
does.
just ask? You know these sprays to set it throughout the day.
I've never
Do
used
they
one.
actually? Do they actually work?
They work brilliantly if you've got particularly oily skin or you are going to go for a very long time. So if you're going to go clubbing as a teenager or something like that, or in your 20s. But I think most people don't need them. They really don't need them.
No. Well, my days of clubbing are well and truly
Are they,
over.
Jen?
I saw you stumbling out at 5 o'clock in the morning the other day. I was going to
Mostly out of the
There
BBC
she was.
centre.
With my disco lights on and all of that. Just one final question from me. I know you've talked about mascaras, but everyone watching will be saying, please tell me the best mascara. Go on.
I'm a firm fan of high street mascaras. I really am, and there are so many. I think Maybelline 2000 Calorie is amazing. I think, Max Factor 2000 Calorie, Maybelline Great Lashes, great. I think if you're going to go a little bit sort of middle, high end, I think Benefit do the best mascara. This is FanFest, their brand new one.
Oh, wow, there we go. She has spoken. So that was absolutely wonderful. Thank you, Nadine, for that. Now, from one extreme to the other, the journalist, the wonderful, legendary Julie Birchall, wrote in the press recently that she is now in managed decline, meaning, I know, it's a wonderful expression, meaning that she no longer really cares about what she looks like. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with Julie Birchall, she was the rock chick journalist of her time, leggy, raven-haired, smudgy, dark eyes, beautiful skin. mini skirts, the whole thing. And now she says she's quite, excuse me, happy in an elasticated waist. So I would rather die than wear an elasticated waist.
Oh, look, I've got an elasticated waist.
Today, my trousers are.
They're Chloe.
Forgive me, everybody. But does it matter? Or are we rather shallow in that we care so much about the way we look? Let's kick off with you, Jordan. Fashion is your thing.
I don't think so. I mean, I applaud her for choosing that path because I think, just as a woman who likes to support other women, if that's what makes her feel good, I'm all for that. I don't see why that would be an issue for anybody, really. She can look however she wants to look. Me personally, looking good makes me feel good. I find it really empowering to be able to alternate between a dressed-down, casual, makeup-free day to being all glammed up and showing out.
Yeah.
And I particularly, just as an older woman, I think I like to set the stage in that way for younger women, because I think there is still, in the conversations that I have with younger women, there is still a lot of them that feel like, oh my God, when they hit 30 even or 40, that's it, it's over. And the whole cool dressing and makeup thing is going to be over for them in some shape or form. So I like to present, really, as an older woman, that actually you can, it's a choice, you don't have to. But yes, you can still get made up and think about what you're wearing, because I do think whether we like it or not, the way you present yourself to the world sends a message about who you are.
I absolutely agree.
There's no avoiding that.
No.
So you have to decide
This is it.
who you want to be on any given day.
I agree. Nadine, I mean, Julie Birchall says her priority now is her brain. She has a brilliant brain, so she writes like a dream, and she says, that's what I'm proud of, no longer how I look.
And then I found out she's a year younger than me.
Yeah.
So I certainly haven't declined into what did she? How did she describe it?
Managed decline.
Managed
I love
decline.
that.
Yeah. But then I think the important thing here is, if it becomes a chore, then you should feel free to let it go. So if you feel it's a chore to dress a certain way, look a certain way, wear makeup, wear your hair a certain way, let it go. Like the chore of wearing high heels. I mean, we're all wearing high heels, and then we'll put our sneakers on and run out of here and run around. But for me, if you get joy in it, then I don't have a problem. And also, I guess I make a living from looking a certain way.
But if you think, Gabby, if you think now, we're being offered how we can hold back the years aesthetically. We're being offered so much help if we want it. So for her to just say, and she admits, she said, I've had Botox, I've had filler, I just don't do it anymore. And I love the freedom of never having to worry about it.
Well, there's people like Sarah Jessica Parker who do the same thing. But actually, exactly like you, I echo what you said, that if that's what she's chosen to do, who are we to judge her? I choose to wear a lot of slap. I love my makeup. I love wearing bright colours. And I remember when I was little, people used to think, oh, people over a certain age don't wear jeans. And I remember an article being written about me that said, oh, Gabby's over 40. She's still got long hair. Ooh. And you and I have had this conversation. Wow, I'm having my long hair as long as I want.
I'm growing mine as fast as I can. I love it.
Nobody else, journalists were very cutting about all of that. But actually, it's up to the individual. I choose to slap on my makeup because I love makeup. I choose to wear bright colours because they bring me joy, and hopefully they bring other people joy. And I've always loved fashion. Always, always, always. And I feel these days, suddenly people don't really, like I keep saying, people care more about themselves than about others, but they want help and guidance. And you were saying in your DMs that people ask you, and the amount of people that are really feeling scared about fashion, and I just say, please, I'm there, but not physically, but I'm there with you, do it.
I agree. But could we go, so Pamela Anderson, beautiful, gorgeous Pamela Anderson, has gone even one step further. So, she's not in managed decline, but she just, I forget what fashion show she went
to. Paris Fashion
Week.
Week, didn't wear any
No makeup.
Filmed some behind-the-scenes videos for Vogue France, for French Vogue, and basically she said she's finding it liberating now not to wear makeup. And it was very interesting because I was asked to go on this morning and do a piece about the no makeup look, and I thought I'd have to do it with no makeup on. And this is a really interesting point because I, like you, regularly appear on Instagram and YouTube without a scrap of makeup on. But I felt really undermined at thinking I would have to go on national
television.
TV without, even though everybody knows what I look like without makeup on. And then I turned up and they said, oh no, you can wear makeup. And I was, whoa, okay, that's fine. But I think she looked beautiful. And again, it's her decision.
Yeah.
If she feels liberated by not wearing makeup, feel free
But
not
do
to
you
wear
think,
it.
and I asked Julie Birchall this, and it's the same with Pamela Anderson, she had everything. I'm not saying she hasn't anymore, but she was known as this pin-up, this beauty, this, she was a doll, as they called. Is it easier to let all that go when you know, well, I've had it, so now I'll just sit
No,
back?
I think it's probably harder.
Look at Madonna, though. Look at Madonna. She's back out there doing her gigs, just being phenomenal in her mid-60s.
You can't hold her back, can you?
You know,
She's just climbing up those stairs.
I have
you
to
just
say,
think,
I have to give huge kudos to Madonna
Yes.
for my generation,
Me too.
because
Yes.
for me, she was always the older sister, sort of, so she's, 5 years older than me. And I just think she's like you, hold yourself up and you say, look to your younger followers, look, getting older isn't necessarily a matter of controlled decline or whatever it made
Not
managed
doing
decline.
a huge gig.
Madonna for me has always been that person. I think, well, if Madonna can keep going, there's something happening. And I think one of the secrets of being comfortable in your own skin is to surround yourself by people of different ages, but also to always have
good for your
friends who are
brain as well.
older than you and icons to look up to and go, well, she's still kicking it.
Yeah.
It's 5
I
years older than me.
agree.
Why not?
Well,
I
hold on.
agree.
Look
Like
at Gloria
Helen Mirren.
Hunniford.
Yeah,
Gloria
Gloria
Hunniford
Hunniford.
presents live television daily. She's mid-80s.
Yes.
Yes.
and she
And
can
I-
use an autotune
Dame
better
Gloria.
than me.
And I remember interviewing Dame Helen Mirren and sitting down with her and thinking, she's not going to know who I am, I better introduce myself. And I said, oh, just to let you know, I have a digital platform and it's for older women. And she went, but you're not old. Oh. Because it's perspective.
Yeah, lovely. But what
And
you were
she
saying...
swears so much like Julie Birchall. I love her for
Got
that.
to get her on this show.
We
We've
have
got
to get her on.
But it's what you were saying about Madonna. When you see her with all those young dancers, all those vital young dancers, how brilliant for them to have a woman of that age leading them.
Yeah.
You know, she does the choreography, she leads them. It's extraordinary. That would never have happened 2 decades ago, 20 years ago. You'd never have seen
I
her.
feel
With
Madonna,
men,
I
with
genuinely
men.
feel
With
Madonna
men.
is
Yeah,
an
with men.
absolute
I
groundbreaking
totally agree.
icon for all of us for that reason.
Well, I don't want it to end, but that's it for today. So can I thank you, the wonderful Gaby and wonderful Nadine and beautiful Jordan. On next week's show, Louise Rowe is back with more fabulous guests. Rochelle Rawlings is sharing her knitwear edit. Plus we go behind the scenes with the SL team for the day. I love those. In the meantime, we would love it if you could comment. Leave a comment below. We read everyone. I answer as many as I can. Give us a thumbs up and please subscribe if you haven't yet. Have a wonderful day wherever you are. Say goodbye, girls. Bye. Bye.